Hello, this is Ed Burke with PlaceForTraders.com for Friday, April 17th. Starting off in the June S&P, in my last video I talked about the pivot level of 844 for Thursday. We needed to stay above 844 for a bullish market. Below 844, we're looking at a bearish market. I had the first line of resistance up at 856 and a quarter. The second line of resistance up at 863 and a quarter. Now, obviously, the market was bullish on Thursday. The market settled up 13 points at 861 and a half in the June S&P. The high was 867. The overnight low was 840 and a quarter. Now, this red arrow that I have pointing here, these are 15-minute bars. This was the opening bar for the regular session. This blue, thick blue line I have right here is the first line of resistance. This thick black line right here I have is the pivot of 844. So the market opened up around 854.75, just off our first line of resistance. Obviously, you can see the market then sold off after the regular session open, going right down to the pivot. The pivot serving as a nice support. It just went barely through that pivot of 844, and then obviously you can see then the market rallied back. When I had sent messages out to people after we bounced off that pivot level, right about in here, I was telling people to go long the market. The market dipped down a little bit, but then broke through that first line of resistance. And then actually went through the second line of resistance, going all the way up to a high of 867. That second line of resistance was up at 863 and a quarter. And then this arrow, this red arrow, this is the 15-minute bar where the market closed at 861 and a half. So all in all, obviously a bullish day for the market, and that pivot level serving as a nice support level. For Friday, I'm looking at the pivot level of 856 and a quarter. We need to stay above 856 and a quarter for a bullish market. Below 856 and a quarter, we're looking at a bearish market. I have the first line of resistance up at 873. Second line of resistance up at 883 and a half. For support, first line of support at 845.75. Second line of support at 830. Some weekly numbers. The weekly pivot is 837. The first line of weekly resistance is 871 and a quarter. So the first line of weekly resistance is actually a little bit lower than our daily resistance for tomorrow. First line of daily resistance is 873. The weekly resistance is at 871 and a quarter. Just bear that in mind. The first line of weekly support is way down at 818 and a half. Just a number to keep in mind. It's well below both our support lines, but it's down at 818 and a half. One number coming out at 9:55 a.m. Eastern Time, the Michigan Sentiment Index. The expectation is for a reading of 59. That's all I have for this evening. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't gone to my website as of yet, it's PlaceForTraders.com. I encourage you to go on and sign up for the free alerts. Thanks a lot and good trading.